This is called the black mamba. Now, this snake is beautiful for several reasons. Number one, it is the fastest snake in the world. Where are my brothers from Australia? We have the fastest snake. We have venom, we have the fastest snake. And it can get up to lengths of approximately 4 to 5 meters. And it's got a neurotoxic venom. It has this bad habit of lifting up about 40% of its body from the ground and just swimming for unsuspecting. Now, John, the next one is ready. So, you have a chance to go to the snake park. Please go to the snake park. They've got a nice, big, long black mamba there for you to see. One of the most frequent snakes in Zimbabwe, in Africa. It's not called a black mamba because it's black, it's not black in color actually. It's not green to grayish. It's called a black mamba because it has an ink black lining in the mouth. And I always tell the students this. If I was a movie director and I was making a movie called The Black Mamba, I would get a screenshot, not a screenshot, a shot of movie shot. We should say, the last thing you see before you die is the black lining of the mouth. Blackness in the mouth. Black Mamba, directed by Tagwireyi. But anyway, let's move on before I... This is another one. It is called the Mozambique spitting cobra. It has the ability of squirting venom quite accurately, actually distance of about 3 meters, which means if I were a snake and treating like you, but God forbid, what you expect from you will probably safe. It could squirt like venom from where I am, right into your eyes. And if it's not attended to quick enough, by flashing lots of water, you can actually get blindness occurring, just like, there's a picture that I have. So this is blindness shocking, but this was from a pregnant spitting cobra. But what if we do with something like that? Okay, calm now. So today's topic of the day, I want to talk about the time is now, taking pharmacy to the next level. And if you noticed on your program, I say I intentionally told the guys who prepared the program that this is an inspirational talk. So it's a good thing, I suppose, because also after lunch, if you go to the deep stuff, people will start sleeping on you. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And basically, the structure of my presentation, I'm going to introduce myself. I've sort of started, you know me now. I will talk about what I call the problem, and then at some point I will talk about the solution in the first part of the talk. And then the second part of the talk is very, very exciting one because I really want to inspire us that by the time we leave that door, each and every person who is a pharmacist inside is ready to go and to change the world. Okay? Great. So normally when I say my name is Dexter, 2 television characters come to mind. The first one is that little guy from Dexter's laboratory. Now he's a nice guy, he does lots of experiments, he's got an irritating system called DG or something like that. The next Dexter, I don't really like being associated with him, but it's the other guy, the psychopath, the serial killer. So if you want to associate me with the Dexter, please associate me maybe with that guy. And not the other serial killer film. And then for those who are a bit more mature, because they use the word old, but the same more mature, you might remember Dexter from Dynasty, eh? And this role was acted by, Michael Nagel, Dexter from Dynasty. He's a pretty handsome guy, so if you want to associate with him, I don't mind, it's fine. So who's Dexter? Basically, I am toxicologist. So I'm also a regulator. I am a part of the Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe, where I sit in a couple of the committees there. I'm also a professional regulator. I also sit in the Pharmacist Council of Zimbabwe, and I'm also a pharmacist, just like you. I belong to the society as well. So if we have a pictorial description of Dexter as a professional, I would say that's who I am. I'm somewhere in the middle of poisons, toxicology, and then maybe the pharmacology analysis, something in the middle. And just to sum it up, really. So my work has been on poisoning. So chances are high that if you have read any article on poisoning in Zimbabwe post 1998 or so, chances are high that you might have come across some of my work. So I've been doing poisoning stuff, but these days I concentrate more on natural products. And believe it or not, I've also done one article on nano stuff. So put simply, Dexter is a person who's excited and interested about poisons. So if it's toxic or poisonous, I get these unexplicable goosebumps. I mean, when I see a snake, not out of fear or getting passionate out of fear, but because something inside me jumps out, and then I'm so excited about it, as you can see. So that what I had in the jar there is a cave cobra. Quite a venomous snake. You find it largely in South Africa, so I'm going to visit one poisons information center in one business. I just let it pass. The picture is so funny. The cave cobra. Okay, let's start on my topic. So I said there's a problem. And for me, the problem I see in the context of these emerging technologies, which Dr. Tifamba was talking about. Well, I'm not a doomsday prophet. I'm more, I don't know what the opposite of doomsday prophet is. What's the opposite of doom? I don't know. Light prophet or something else like that. But there's a problem which I see. And the problem really for me, it comes with what the definition of a pharmacist is. So I took the liberty of looking for the definition of a pharmacist from dictionaries. So I went online and I came across these two definitions. There's several of them, almost all pretty the same. The first says a pharmacist is a person who is professionally qualified to prepare and dispense medical drugs. And you can agree with that definition to some extent, I'm sure. The second one, which came from medical source, said a pharmacist is a professional who fills prescriptions and, in the case of the compounding pharmacist, makes them. Pharmacists are very very familiar with medication ingredients, interactions, and cautions. So I looked at that definition, and then I started thinking about some other things. So when you say pharmacist, normally what comes to mind, especially here in the southern part of Africa, when you say pharmacist, we think of somebody like that. Someone who's in a nice, clean dispensary with lots of medicines and then they give you your drugs. Isn't it? And that definition almost goes well with that, I think, person who dispenses medicine. But then I have a problem, like I said, with the dictionary definitions. Because I feel those definitions put limitations to who we are as pharmacists. And that's what we want to try and fulfill. Or maybe we agree, I'm not sure whether we agree or disagree at the end. But my question to you is, who should define a pharmacist? Should it be a politician? Or maybe medical doctors? Medical doctors tell us who we are. They say, no, pharmacy, your role is, should it be medical doctors? Should it be journalists? Should it be physiotherapists? Maybe some other people. I mean, if not these people, then who should define who a pharmacist is? If it's an open question, you get it correct, and I just, I don't know. Give you an example. Who should define who a pharmacist is? To me, I think the person who should define who a pharmacist is the pharmacist himself, or the pharmacist herself. I mean, to be strange, I'm male, and then a female is going to describe who I am. That's it. Okay, maybe she might be able to. But still, I feel it's a definition of something. The person who is that very thing must be the one who knows exactly who they are. Do you agree with me? Or you don't agree with me? Because I think it's unfair that we have outsiders define us. And from the definition which I found of a pharmacist, from those dictionaries, I don't think it was a pharmacist who put that definition. Would you have defined yourself as someone who prepares and dispenses medicine? Just that. So anyway, this being a democratic country, I would like us to just go ahead and come up with our own definition of pharmacist. So when we look at the word pharmacist, it's a compound word, isn't it? If we split it, we've got pharma at the beginning, with or without the C, and then we have a suffix, ist. So what I want us to do now, it's a little strange, I know probably never had such a presentation, but it's okay, this is about the strange things happening. What I just ask is, just in 10 seconds, and I'll count it. Come up with a definition based on pharma and ist with the person right by your side. 10 seconds. So you can start now, I'll count it. Pharma and ist. If you're not participating, I'll poison you. And is there anyone who's brave enough to bring their definition of the pharmacist? The mic is quite free. Anyone? Yes, if you can shout, please shout from there so that we can hear. Just give him a round of applause. He's brave enough. He was brave enough to come to our rally. He's brave enough to find a pharmacist for us. That's the definition. Okay, so what I did was I took the liberty to go and look for the etymology of that word pharma, where we get pharmacist, where we get pharmacology, pharmaceutics. And that's what I came out with. So that word pharma is the Greek word pharmakia, which means the use of drugs, of medicine, potions, or spells, poisoning. So it means if we're to define, I'm probably more of a pharmacist than most of people that have done poison stuff as well. And then there's another word, pharmakios or pharmakis, which means the preparer of drugs, a poisoner, a sorcerer, or pharmacon, a drug, a poison. That word, charm, spell, enchantment. Charm, spell, enchantment. Pharmacists are supposed to be charming people. Generally, I'm not sure you are. But then I think it's the second one. So then coming back to my definition, I then said, okay, what is the dictionary definition of the suffix ist? And this is what I came up with. Ist, whenever it is used, refers to a person skilled in or occupied with an expert. And actually in the dictionary they used the word druggist, which was a word synonymous for pharmacists, isn't it? Another definition from the American Heritage Dictionary, it says a specialist in a specified art, science, or a skill. So then I said, okay, my definition of a pharmacist is that, well, not that. So put simply, a pharmacist is a medicine or a drug specialist. You say, okay, Dexter, so what? Why are you wasting our time by telling us all this? Because this definition has several implications. The moment that we define ourselves as experts of a drug, it means that wherever the drug is, there must be a... Yes. If there is a court case where medicine was used, there must be a... If they are developing biotechnology, drugs or medicines, there must be a... But then over the years, what we have done is that we have gone with the definition that we have been given by I don't know who. Whereby we think that all that pharmacists can do is to prepare and dispense. But a pharmacist is a master of the drug. He's a drug expert. When he walks into the room, an expert of the medicine is walking. walked into the room. But there's several implications. It means it's no longer enough for us just to graduate with our B.Pharm honors degrees or our PharmDs if we are going to be relevant to the emerging technologies which are coming in. It means if they're talking about biotechnology, as a pharmacist, I must find my place in biotechnology. It means if they're talking about laws relating to drugs, I must do something as a pharmacist to make sure that I am also involved in that. How can you talk about a drug and I am not there? It means when they're talking about the economics of the country, when they're talking about money issues concerning a medicine or a drug, I, as a pharmacist, must be there. And you see, it's a change in mindset. We have to see ourselves beyond what the world has defined us to be. We are not mere preparers and dispensers of medicines. We are drug experts. We know pharmaceutics. We know pharmaceutical chemistry. We know chemical pharmacy. Hey, we can even compound some things that other people can't. We know why one drug is yellow and the other one is green. Only the pharmacist can do that. Are you getting that? Did you get that? Okay, let's move on. Okay, so I said, that definition, the moment you see yourself as a drug specialist, if we define ourselves as drug experts, there is no other profession on the face of the earth which claims to be an expert in the drug. They might claim to be experts in certain facets of the drug. Pharmacologists would claim to be experts in the use of the medicines. Pharmaceutists who claim to be experts in formulation, but there is no other profession on the face of the earth which claims to be the expert of the drug. From the time the drug is made to the time the drug is disposed, from the time the drug is used properly to the time somebody poisons themselves with 50 paracetamol tablets, there's only one expert in the world. And I'm one of those. I'm not sure about you, but I'm definitely one of those. I'm an expert. I'm a drug expert. I'm a pharmacist. And I'm proud of it. I don't know about you. So if I was in church where sometimes I preach, I would say, ask the person next to you, are you a pharmacist? But then since we are not in church, I'm going to ask you, are you a pharmacist? Yeah, all right, great. Okay, so I should be looking one big reason. Yeah, so if we define and start to see ourselves and start to behave as drug experts or specialists, then the sky becomes the limit. And we are not moved by all these emerging technologies. Why? Because if they're talking of nanomedicine, I'm a medicine guy. I should be there. But it means then we have to think beyond ourselves. We have to think of specializing in different postgraduate courses so that pharmacy can remain relevant to the needs. Are you okay with that? Yes? Okay. So if you dare take that definition, then maybe one bold thought leader in pharmacy made this statement. He said, no one can or should talk about or have any interaction with the medicine, either direct or indirect, without a pharmacist being involved in one way or the other. And do you know who that thought leader is? That's really why? Because we are the drug experts, so it makes perfect sense that wheresoever a drug is, I must be there. How can you say you're talking about my product and I'm not there? How? It's sure that you say, if you can try that, say. So Mama saying, how can it be that you talk about my product? I'm the expert and I'm not there. But sometimes it's because we as pharmacists have decided to fulfill boundaries around ourselves. I always tell my students, The pharmacy to me is like a huge lump of clay. Some people choose to take just a small portion of it and change it to a spoon. Those are the selfish ones. Because the spoon will just feed you. But then the faces that I see here, I know. Take this huge lump of clay and change it to a huge pot, which can feed what's in front of you. And then that way, pharmacy. Is it okay? Okay, let's speak through my presentation. I've been talking too much because I'm passionate about this. And in fact, there's another statement. Doing otherwise, allowing other people to take this noble duty from us. It's tantamount to have to engage our duty and the role as pharmacists. In fact, it's almost criminal. How can you talk about the drug in the whole thing? How? Medical doctors have decided that the human being, the patient, is their domain. And the only thing concerning human beings they want to be there. So, this pharmacist, I think it's only right. There's some of you have an interest towards law. Do you have pharmacy degree? When you know? There's some who love research like myself. Do you have pharmacy degree? Follow the trial and research. There's some who have got strange things. Whatever you want. Do you have pharmacy degree? You follow the trial. That's not our profession to go. It's actually unfair to the public. Because if you're the expert, you're supposed to be delivering the service to the public, and you're abdicating the duties, then there's a problem. You should actually be arrested. Because why it is criminal. Okay. Yeah. We need to change our minds. And how? We need to start seeing ourselves as the custodian of the medicine. We need to see it. We need to believe that we are indeed the masters of the drug. I believe I'm a master of the drug. I'm a drug expert, drug specialist. Do you believe it yourself? And we need not only to believe it, but we need to speak it. When I'm around and they're talking of drugs, I say, I'm the expert here. But I'm the expert here. What are you saying? And they need to act it out as well. Is that okay? Okay, great. And now, this is the last chapter of my talk, which I'll try to go through really fast. You see, the things that I'm talking about concerning pharmacists and pharmacy. Pharmacists have always, if you look through your history, they've always been innovators. Pharmacists have always been inventors. And pharmacists have always been initiators of new things. So I coined a term, the IQ effect. I think I'm going to skip through some of these and just go ahead. Oh, I saw on your t-shirts it's written Ignite, Innovate, and Implement, isn't it? That's beautiful. But the IQ which I'm talking about is this. A certain pharmacist made a bold statement at one conference here in Zimbabwe. And he said, pharmacists, I remember, I was there, are a special breed of healthcare professionals. That's what he said. And he said, they all seem to possess the IQ effect. In fact, he said, the IQ effect, the way he said, they all seem to possess the IQ effect. They are by nature and training innovators, inventors, and initiators of new things. And then somebody challenged the person, said, why this? That was the person who said it. Some years ago, there's another law. So then he was challenged, and then they said, why is it that you say the things that you say? Then he said, to innovate is to change something, changing something to revolutionize. And then he said, to invent is to design or create a new process, mechanism. To initiate is to begin, to start, to investigate, to take initiative. Then he decided to prove to that audience, the skeptical audience, like some of you are, that pharmacists are indeed of that caliber, IQ. This is what he said. He started off with a story. And then we get 3 cases to present. The first case was the case of the toxic chemical group like full of pharmacists and pharmacy students. And then he told them that he could bet that all of them knew what that drug was. And then one person was brave enough to lift their hands and say, I know what that drug is, or what that chemical is. And I want to see that person now. Lift up your hand. What class of medicine? Sure, I think you listen to his presentation at some point. Okay, so this was strictly an alkaloid which was extracted from strychnos max bonica. Strychnine was used for several years as a rodenticide, but has also got some more sinister uses to it. For example, it is reported that Alexander the Great, this is supposed to be Alexander the Great, killed himself by taking, or not killed himself, was killed, was very wasn't by strychnine. That's what they say. I don't know how true it is. And then strychnine also featured in this hit movie from 1960, and I wasn't even born. But then I heard about it. I don't know who knows the movie. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, where some character called Norman killed his mom and someone else like, this is what you like. Yeah. He knows the movie. See? So it's not fake stuff. So anyway, they might ask, so what? Well, picture this. Picture this, Sicily, 19, picture this, 1830s the year. The railroad industry is picking up, and people are actually seeing that machines might actually be better than using horsepower. Yeah? The year 1830, certain man stands before an audience like you're at a conference just like this one, medical doctors and pharmacists, and he has a point to prove. He wants to prove that this thing that he has been working on, called activated charcoal, is actually an excellent antidote. And what does it do? He stands before people, takes the little dose of strychnine. Not just a little dose, 10 times the little dose of strychnine. Right in front of people. And all the kids are just like, then the doctors are saying, oh, the guy is going to wait on you, according to this guy, in a few minutes he's just going to go down the side and all things. But nothing happens to him. This guy demonstrates for himself that activated charcoal actually works in stopping the poison from being absorbed. Now, what I find interesting about this, his name was Prof. Guess what profession he was? So I said, there's a guy with innovation. So pharmacists have put it in them to do this thing. And then people say, well, that's just one case. And I said, oh, okay, let's look for other cases. Next case, the year sometime in the 1960s, and there's a huge problem in society because infants are dying from malnutrition. And breastfeeding is not perceived as fashionable. So females don't be like breastfeeding, and kids are dying. And then someone sees the need to intervene and invents powdered milk as a substitute for young infants. And then all of a sudden, things are fine. The first customer, a premature child who was unable to take the mother's milk, is actually saved. Somebody saw a need in society and said, you know what, we can do something about it. With all the stuff which I've got in my head, all the training that I've had, I think we can do something about it. And you know what? That's the guy. Now his name. Does anyone recognize that? No? Henry Listening. Just like you are, just like I am. And because of Henry Nestle, now we don't only enjoy powdered milk. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that we now have on the market. Because of them. Hey, what? Hey, who said, you know what? I cannot be defined by what society told me. I know the training I got. I'm solid in chemistry. I know some physiology. I can do this stuff. I can do some compounding. came out. It made a difference. Saved lives. Now we have different powder all over the world. And it was a pharmacist. Just like you. That's the show my accent way of speaking. Just like you. And then they say, okay, James, we are almost convinced. And I was like, okay, we're almost convinced. I just want to tell you one thing, that Henry Nestle was a pharmacist just like you. So I said, okay, finally, in science, when you have 3 data points, you can actually draw a nice straight line on whatever. It's a good graph. 2, you might argue, standard deviation is like this, therefore. But with 3, perhaps you can start to come some sort of point. So then that guy then presented his third case. Are you ready for the third case? And the third case starts somewhere in Atlanta. The year is 1886. Long time ago. It's a pharmacy called Jacob's Pharmacy. Does anybody know where I'm going? Jacob's Pharmacy. And that's the guy. His name was Robert Pemberton. And he's the guy who brought us the esteemed Coca-Cola. That's where he said he's not Coca-Cola. So we have Coca-Cola today because of pharmacists. So you see, what I'm trying to put across to you is that we as pharmacists, we come from a long line. It's in our genes. From inventors, and go on Pepsi. That's another pharmacist. The matchstick, that's another pharmacist. Perform the sticker syrup. You have no idea what that is, but that's the plant I'm working on. That's another pharmacist. You better recognize. So I can put across to you, guys, ladies and gentlemen, is that you see, the way that we are selected in the pharmacy school, the way that we are trained, the subjects that they expose us to, make it natural for us to become initiators, inventors, and innovators. So, even if they say technology is moving faster than us, hey, we've been doing this now for years. Robert Pemberton was 1886. We can still also adapt. Whatever the drug is, I want to do. Are you okay? Okay, so in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to challenge you. Before I finish, was my argument convincing enough? If you're not convinced, then maybe you're not a pharmacist. Okay, so what I'm sure is that pharmacists have that IQ factor. That is in you. It's something which takes generations. Whether you like it or not, you can invent it. I've seen pharmacists counting tablets in 5s and 7s, and they're like, okay. You are able to innovate, to invent, and take initiative. So my challenge for you today, my question is what are you going to do about it? Inside you. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about all the pharmaceuticals that you invent, all the pharmaceutical chemistry that you invent? What are you going to do about it? Do you choose to be a small school, or do you choose to be a huge boss? Ladies and gentlemen, as I finish off, I dare you, and I say from today on, you allow that your pharmacist to be society to rise up. I dare you. Push your hand here and say yes, but I dare you. That's the message I'm giving you. That's all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed.
I feel inspired. Do you feel inspired? Okay, let's do the IQ. What's the first one? We are. No. The IQ. We are. We are. This is very difficult. So this is how we're going to do it. So we are first of all initiators, we are inventors, and we are innovators. Now everybody's on the same page, right? So we are initiators, we are inventors, we are, and finally we are forward. Nice. Yo, look at the energy now oozing all over the stage. Pamela, continue. Well, before I go on, I need to introduce to you the next person who will take over the stage. She's one person who I think embodies all these three eyes that we have learned. We would like to thank the Prof for such a nice talk and what he has just left to us. We need to ask ourselves two things. The first question is, who do men say that we are? And we all know what men say that we are. We all know and understand what people say we are. But the second question is very important. One man must ask this centuries ago. And then he asked the second question, which is like the same. And he says what? What do I say I am? Literally, that man, I don't know his name, but maybe you do. What do you say about yourself? Who do you think you are?